That is New Human stuff, bro. That whole story is New Human.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we're gonna talk about Kid Rock. So Kid Rock is on social media troll world's radar right now
Oh shit.
because he is protesting Bud Light, and because Bud Light is apparently partnering with a transgender influencer on social media, and they're giving her own customized cans,
How
and
progressive.
kid.
Wrong can.
The self-proclaimed American badass Chris Rock will not stand for this, and he wants to let you know how much he's not going to stand for this by taking an AR-15 to a bunch of Bud Light cans in what looks like his back. I don't know where exactly he is. He's on some lake or some shit. I don't know,
Some baller
but
shit.
we'll go ahead and provide some context real quick before we get into our thoughts on this. So
Unbelievable.
we got two pieces of. I got two tabs that I want to share here. I'm gonna show the video, but I'm not gonna show the video from TMZ because TMZ flags everything. So I'll just read the article and then I'll play the video from another source that
Fair
won't
use.
flag us because they ain't petty like that.
Fair use.
Uh, so this article from TMZ says Kid Rock shoots up cans of Bud Light, reacting to transgender team up.
Damn.
Kid Rock is all fired up amid Bud Light's decision to partner up with a transgender activist, and we mean that literally because he's out firing bullets over the whole thing. The singer slash rapper, the rapper, that's a loose term, okay, but whatever. The singer slash rapper posted a video to his social media Monday, which was uncaptioned, but was also self explanatory in what was shown. Namely, it's him grabbing an AR style rifle of some sort and firing a ton of bullets and a few cases of Bud Light off in the distance. He starts his video by saying, Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today, and then proceeds to shoot up the beer, which he had teed up for him on a table near a lake. Finally, he hits his point home by once again talking to the camera, this time saying, F Bud Light and F Anheuser-Busch, have a terrific day. Now, if you're wondering why Kid Rock is all pissy about Bud Light, it's no secret if you've been following the news lately. Dylan Mulvaney, I think I'm saying that right. Dylan Mulvaney, who's a transgender woman and a social media influencer who's been documenting her transition journey online, has partnered with Bud Light. She did a promo for Bud Light a couple days ago, flashing a bunch of their signature blue cans and plugging some sort of sweepstakes they were running. Dylan also posted a photo of a custom Bud Light can with her face on it, something sent over by Anheuser. And this is her. That's what she looks like, and he, whatever you, I don't know. I guess she. That's her again. Um, so there you go. She did a promo for Bud. No, never. I read that already. There was swift backlash from people who apparently didn't like their fave brew company teaming with this person, including a lot of conservatives like Kid Rock. Anheuser-Busch has since spoken out and defended its partnership with Dylan, advocating for a diverse consumer base, while also noting her custom can is not available to the public. It was just a gift. If Anheuser was trying to reach the LGBTQ plus community, Dylan is certainly a great person to tap for a sponsorship. She's been blowing up over the past year and has a big following. So that's the background. Now we'll go ahead and share the video itself so y'all can actually see uh, Kid Rock's protest video that he put on Instagram.
We are living in the future, bro. I swear, bro. We living in the future. This is wild stuff. Oh, the MAGA hat. Okay. Okay. All right.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today.
Oh,
Let me
shit.
say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
Whoa. Yo, what's going on right now?
Oh, have a terrific day.
Wow.
So yeah, man, and of course he's wearing a MAGA hat. So that's triggering all of the leftists and the liberals and the people who hate the MAGA people and all of this good stuff. So there you have it, man. And this is swirling around the internet right now. And Kid Rock is good. He doesn't care if he never sees another dollar again. He's set for life. And so he can afford to do stuff like this. But it's pretty interesting. But he's a very outward showing of disdain towards Bud Light for this move. And I wonder what you think about that.
Yeah, man. I think that I agree with his frustrations. Now, I agree. I feel like this was all something beeping over there. But I feel like it was all warranted. His frustration, because he looks like a guy that's been drinking since he was 12 years old. So how many cold beers did he had, hanging with the boys, just doing all kinds of masculine, manly things, drinking a beverage that was promoted to him, telling him that the more he drank it, the more manly he became. Now, these same people who told him that he was all-American man by sipping on this since he was 12 years old has now shifted gears because they don't care about you anyway. They only try to convince you to buy something. The new people who are buying things are trans and liberal. Not you old people. Yeah, you old dusty people who are stuck in your ways with heterosexualism. We got we need the new wave. And the more you sip on this, the more soy you become. Which is ironic because that's what that stuff actually does to you anyway. It doesn't make you more manly. In fact, it actually takes away from your teeth. So when you're having that level of cognitive dissonance and you do have a lake in the backyard and an AR-15 and enough beer for a pregame, why not light it up and go viral? So a lot of irony in this one here, but I think this one here is a brew best served cold. How about you, sir? How do you feel about this one?
This is so funny. Yeah, I agree with his frustration too. And I think I know where people like Kid Rock are coming from. So a couple years ago on this very channel, I encourage everybody to check this video out. It's an older video on the channel. I did a video talking about an actress named Gina Carano. Gina Carano was an MMA athlete. She was an MMA fighter who eventually transitioned into Hollywood. She became an actress and she was in movies and stuff. She was in the first Deadpool movie. She's been in a few things. And she landed a role on The Mandalorian, which is a very popular Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Now, prior to her landing this role, Gina Carano was outspoken. It just so happens that she's also a conservative. So she is a conservative who is outspoken, and she doesn't care about the fact that she's going to incur backlash for her views. And so she regularly would get on Twitter and these various other social media outlets, and she would express viewpoints. None of these viewpoints were ever reprehensible. At the most, they were always just disagreeable. Meaning, if you disagree with them, fine, but it's nothing that she needs to be thrown into the gulag for. They're just disagreeable points of view. However, she did one thing that she could never recover from. She went onto social media and she analogized being a conservative with being a Jewish person during the Holocaust. And the point that she was making was, as a conservative in modern day America, I sometimes feel like I am persecuted for my views because I'm simply a conservative person. And so, you know, she basically analogized her plight to that of Jewish people during the Holocaust because they were persecuted. She was basically equating persecution. And nobody actually dealt with like what she was saying, which is I'm unfairly criticized for my comments. And if you're a conservative who makes conservative critiques and comments, it can be held against you detrimentally in terms of your career and your livelihood versus being liberal and doing the exact same thing. And you're okay because liberal is just perceived to be good and conservative is perceived to be bad. And Carano's point was, why does one have to be good and bad? There are different points of view. I should not be held to the fire from the standpoint that my career and my livelihood can be put at risk simply for being conservative. But no one actually talked about that. They just talked about the fact that she was using Jews during the Holocaust to make her point. They called her an anti-Semite. She ended up getting fired from the show. And to my knowledge, she has not recovered since. And my whole point with all of this was, and this was back when cancel culture was still kind of becoming a thing. Now it's fully, it's out of its infant stages. We're fully immersed in it. If you say something that's conservative, you will get, for lack of a better term, canceled, fired, whatever you want to call it, unless you apologize and you go to counseling, and you speak to people who can help you right your wrongs, which she didn't do. So she was fired from the show. They didn't hire her back, despite, you know, a lot of people saying this isn't right. You need to hire her back. All she did was express a viewpoint. But she was pigeonholed into this lane of being an anti-Semite. And my whole thing was, okay, y'all are all focusing on the analogy that she made. Even if you think the analogy was in poor taste, because you don't think that she should be bringing up or invoking, like, you know, people of Jewish descent or Jewish people in general and the Holocaust and all of that, because admittedly that's a very touchy thing for various reasons. But how about we address the central point that she was making? Would y'all like to talk about that? Can y'all address the point that she was making about the fact that she can't be a conservative and say conservative stuff without potentially getting fired? Everybody glossed over that and went straight to the analogy that she was making. And I think that fuels into what frustrates a lot of people like Kid Rock and others, and why people get so gung-ho and lean into the MAGA stuff. Even people who are reasonable, but just feel as though they need to retain some semblance of what they've always clung to in terms of how they view the world and their life. And so they say, I might not be all the way down with this MAGA stuff, but hell, it's all I got. Because it's either I do this or I'd run around saying I want to have a bunch of transgender kids so that I can be righteous. And, you know, I'm not necessarily saying that Kid Rock is right or wrong. I'm just saying I get where he's coming from. I, too, have certain ideals that one would construe as traditional. I'm unapologetic about that. And I do think that in this day and age, it has become a faux pas simply to be traditional and conservative. Did Chris Rock, I keep wanting to say that. Did Kid Rock somewhat perhaps make a video that's going to charge people by doing what he did? Yeah, but I think, you know, the greatest tragedy in all of this is that his central point is going to be missed, which is why does a person have to be 100% lock and step with all of these things that don't necessarily align with their point of view? Even if you disagree with them, it shouldn't manifest itself in something that's going to put their livelihoods at risk, which is what being conservative and traditional has become. And very much like what happened with Gina Carano, where no one is going to address her central point and everyone is going to fixate on the analogy that she made. When it comes to this situation with Kid Rock, no one's going to talk about his central point. Everyone's just going to focus on the fact that he was shooting in the video. And they're going to say that he's promoting gun violence. These are the types of things that's going to happen, right? So people are going to say he's promoting gun violence.
Right.
He's not being sensitive to victims of gun violence.
Yes.
They're going to say he's promoting guns. He's promoting death by guns.
That's
They're
right.
basically going to paint him as a merchant of death.
Somehow he's also practicing, or he got the MAGA hat. So he's also practicing white supremacy.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So that's what's going to happen. So his central point is going to be lost in the shuffle because now he's a white supremacist, and he's a sexist, and he's a transphobic, and he's all of these things.
That's
And no one is going to actually address what's really going on here, the root of it, which is we are openly attacking, mocking, criticizing, stripping livelihoods away from people who lean conservative and traditional. And, it has definitely, if you look at the mainstream media, if you look at the internet, conservatism in this country has been conflated with wrongdoing, evil. You're the bad guy because you think men and women should be together in heterosexual relationships and should not want transgender kids. Therefore, you're what's wrong with the world. And if I say I would prefer to not have transgender children, I'm what's wrong with the world because I'm supposed to, if I want to be righteous, say I'd love to have transgender kids. Hell, I'd love to marry a transgender person because that's liberal and progressive and that's what's good and right. So, it's unfortunate and it's sad. I understand what people like Carano and what Kid Rock is getting at. Others will, of course, look at everything else, and they'll attach the gun and they'll say, oh, he's promoting, blah, blah, blah. That's what's going to happen. And I completely anticipate that taking place, but I get it. And I'm not necessarily saying that he's right or wrong, but that's the point, is that it's all disagreeable. But the media and the growing contingent of hyperliberalism in America would have you think that there is a right side and a wrong side. And that's the sad part. But what are you gonna do? They're taking over, and this is the world that we live in now.
Yeah, it's on every show. It's everywhere now. It was something that came up yesterday. I forgot what it was about. But I was looking up something about trans something, and it wasn't this, so it was something else. And I'm sitting there looking at it. And I said, they just done with gay people. They just done with y'all. Y'all ain't cutting it. Y'all becoming old school. And because when you talk about LGBT, we're not talking about gay people. We're talking about a group of people, not all of them, but within the community. And you'll talk to gay people, and they don't be agreeing with all of this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Some of it's like, nah, we need some of that. Sorry, I want to be in TV shows. Other stuff, it'd be like, nah, that's too much, or this and that, or whatever. And so they don't agree with all of this, but this is getting pushed in their name. Same thing like black people. I don't agree with all of this stuff that they be doing and saying, NAACP stuff and all this stuff. I don't be agreeing with that crap. All of that horse and pony show stuff. That don't be doing nothing. And so them people don't speak for me. But outside of our community, everybody go, well, do you guys have a lobby group? No. Well, what do you guys got? NAACP, right? They don't talk for me. So the same thing with the lobbying and stuff that's going on in Hollywood and in Washington, D.C. when it comes to all of this, progressive thinking. Not everybody in the community thinks that way. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. So there's some traditional, just gay people, just living it up. All right. But now they're being ostracized. Why? Because they don't want to cut their penis off, or they don't want to do whatever. They're not pansexual. Hey,
right.
Look, the person signed up to be gay. He don't have to be pansexual too. No, he has to be pansexual too. He has to have sex with furries.
Right. And they have to want to be in polyamorous relationships.
They have to want that.
You got to go all the way. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. Drag queens at elementary schools, all of it. You have to sign up for all of it. And I'm like, no, I don't. So for everybody out there that's just like, hey, this stuff that's going on is way too pervasive. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing we can do about it because we don't run no studios. If Kid Rock never buys anything from that company again, he did win. I personally don't eat at McDonald's anymore. All right. I just don't do that. I'm not serving that machine anymore. And there's other machines that I refuse to serve. I won't
Absolutely.
I won't neglect any future sponsors though. So, but McDonald's, you guys can go to hell with your pink slime and your fake meats allegedly. But yeah, so so if you take a stand on something, and then you protest with your money, then you're actually making a change. Because these people only understand money. But like I said, dude, this is a big cultural shift. They had a big meeting about this, and they talked about this for a while, clearly, because you have to pay this person a lot of money, A, and B, you're making a whole brand shift. I mean, you still advertise this stuff during football games, but by the way, every commercial that comes on now is kind of gay. And if there's humor going in there, there's either an adult that turns into a baby, or a baby that's doing adult things, or the guys are in there having some quasi kind of a gay moment, and you're supposed to find that humorous.
Yeah.
So they shift the gears in commercials, so much so that when I hear new people talk in their little forums and chat and comment sections, it's gay banter. It's gay banter because they have a whole their whole brand of comedy. You know where my brand of comedy come from? The Simpsons, Seinfeld, Conan O'Brien monologues. How about that? Conan O'Brien monologues. And if you guys watch the old ones in the 90s, absolute fire. And that's why I learned comedy from. These guys learn comedy from quasi-gay interactions. So they think because a man is having some type of whatever exchange with a dude, or you make some I don't know, gay joke,
or dressing in drag, or dressing like a woman, or anything like that too.
or anything like that, and
Yeah.
thinking it's all good, and it's like it's all not. Yeah, man. So man, so the culture has shifted. They've clearly said, hey, we're investing in this. All of this stuff is happening by no one wants this. And that's why I brought up the gay people earlier. There's gay people that don't even want this.
Yeah.
There's gay people that just wanted to be gay and not be made fun of anymore. It's kind of like feminism. Women just want to, hey, I don't want to get beaten, or I want to walk down the street, and if I apply for a job, I want to be able to get it.
And make money. Correct.
And
right.
make money. But then it's co-opted and turned into something else.
Yeah.
And the agendas are pushed without their check marks or nothing. It's just happening. And then they're the proxy people that everybody look at like, look at you. You're a woman. You're supporting this. And no, I don't. And so the same people within the trans or whatever community and all of this stuff is getting pushed by who? Because the people in the community that aren't even pushing it. So who is? When you watch your next TV show or movie, tell me what you see in there. Then see who's funding that. Then watch whatever TV show, see who's funding that. It's a trail to these things. And these people, the gay people that's walking down the street don't work for those studios. And they're not in these boardrooms, and they're not signing these people to beer deals to put their face on cans. So who's actually doing this and why? And last thing I'll tie this into is I had brought this up before, because corporatocracy, they're invested in making sure that families aren't families and that people stay as scatterbrained as they possibly can. And what better way to ensure that is making sure that you eradicate the family structure completely. On top of brainwashing them with all kinds of indoctrination and garbage when they're little, when they grow up, they become the perfect crop for consuming. So then now when these people that are Kid Rock is looking like, are you guys serious? You guys want to put a transgender person on cans? There's nothing that you love. I love Ninja Turtles. One of these days, Raphael, my favorite, he's going to come out as trans. Hey, guys, guess what? This whole time I was actually a girl. Excuse me. Yeah, they're going to do that to my Ninja Turtles. Everything you know and love. All right? Hey, man, if you love goddamn anything, they're going to do it. They're going to make a reboot and trash it out and slut out your favorite character. And he's like,
Yeah.
Raphael. He's
Yeah.
like, nah, Raphael's going to the boom boom room down in the gutter with the Bebop and Rocksteady.
With Casey Jones.
All right, enough with fan fiction, but you guys get the point, man. So yeah, man, all this stuff is out of our hands, man. We're just sitting here watching it, but we don't have to consume. Kid Rock took a step in the right direction by eradicating those cans. If he never spends another dollar, he did his job. More people need to take suit, and if your favorite corporation likes to get real unique in a certain month of the year, you know what I'm saying, and it doesn't float your boat, then pull your ticket as well. So
Yeah,
but with your
just
dollar.
yeah, like you said, man, you have to consume it with a filter. Yeah, I remember when we did the video talking about Candace Cameron, who was an actress who used to be on Full House from back in the day.
Mhm.
She said, "I'm going to start a production suite within Hallmark Channel and
Yeah.
create movies that feature heterosexual marriages and families."
Wow.
And she was called a bigot for that. and it's like, what are we doing here? So in other words, if she had said, I'm going to go to Hallmark Channel and create a bunch of programming featuring nothing but gay families, y'all would be cheering for that. But you're opposed to her saying, I'm going to do this to feature traditional families and marriages. Why? Like, these things, literally, these various themes have been turned into a matter of good versus evil. And to be quote unquote progressive is good, and to be traditional leaning is bad, is evil. You're on the wrong side of history. That's not righteous. And all the girl said was, these are my ideals. This is what I want to do. This is my content. Hey, look, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Go and buy a can of Bud Light with the trans person's face on it.
Unbelievable.
And go watch Netflix, because there's plenty of trans shows and all of that kind of stuff and all of that kind of content on streaming shows. You know, go watch P-Valley on Stars.
Yeah.
There's all kind of suspect stuff going on in that show. Go watch that. You don't have to watch Candace Cameron's show, but we shouldn't be calling people bigots just because they say they want to create content that leans traditional. God forbid she wants to make a movie that has a man and a woman who get married and have children who are boys and girls. Oh my God, how beyond the pale. But, you know, that's kind of what we've got. That's what this has come to. And for people like Kid Rock, that's what this is about. It has nothing to do with transphobia. It really doesn't. It has to do with just trying to retain some semblance of reasonable points of view that lean traditional. You don't necessarily have to agree with it, but at the very most, it's nothing more than being disagreeable. If you don't like it, disagree with it, say what you got to say and move on. But we start calling people bigots and we start demanding that they need to get fired from stuff that they are, and we start petitioning that they need to get fired. And now, in order for them to not get fired, they got to talk to advocacy groups and go to rehabs and donate money and apologize. That's the stuff that's crazy, because why can't I say, I don't want somebody, if Kid Rock decides that he wants to get, I don't know, if Kid Rock decides that he wants to shoot something that advocates for LGBTQ people, it's like I said, he'll get 1 million likes. He'll get 1 million likes for that. But he can't do this because that's wrong. And, we need to peel back the layers and understand where he's coming from, instead of getting triggered by the gun and immediately wanting to leap to the conclusion that he's a transphobic gun violence advocate, because that's what's inevitably going to happen. But it is what it is. I think it's sad. I think what happened to Gina Carano was sad. Even though I'm not a big fan of Kyrie Irving, I think what happened to him was sad. I think what happened to Kanye is sad. I think what happened to Nick Cannon is sad. I think that what happens to all of these people who have to go through this is ridiculous, but it's all part of corporate conglomeracy. And these individuals lobby and they pass bills and they get things in motion and laws become enacted, all for the betterment of the product that they sell. It has nothing to do with helping people, and it has everything to do with increasing the stock value and lining the pockets of the people who sit on the board of directors and all of these people who have a vested interest financially in these institutions. That's kind of what it boils down to. But people ain't gonna like it, but I'm glad that Chris Rock, I keep wanting to do that. It's not Chris Rock, Kid Rock. I'm glad Kid Rock shot the cans up. Hey man, shoot more cans up for all I care. I don't give a damn. Do what you got to do, because I'm with you. This stuff is getting way too out of control, and I wish a muzzle could be put on it, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, vote with your dollar, everybody. Vote with your dollar.
That's very good parting advice for sure. Go, your greatest capital in terms of the muscle that you can squeeze out of these people is just not spending the money. Don't do it. OnlyFans will never get $1 out of me ever.
Not a cent. Not one.
Oh boy, keep doing your thing, Kid Rock. Keep doing your thing. Let me know where you got that gun from too.
Balling. Keep balling. Yeah, that thing was green. That was green.